Next up at UFC Louisville, we have the co-main event of the evening. Dominick Reyes on an all-time skid taking on Dustin Jacoby. Dominick Reyes is 12-4 in his career. He was 12-0, 11-0, 12-0 actually. Fought John Jones for the world championship, and a lot of people think he won. A lot of people. I think the majority of people at that point in time think he beat John Jones. Beat who Dana White thinks is the greatest of all time. But he didn't. He lost a decision, a very close decision. And then he got knocked out 3 times in a row. This guy has not won a fight in a very long time. But he was that guy at one point. He's taken on Dustin Jacoby, 19-8 in his career. 2-3 in his last 5. Also had a few highs and lows in the last couple of years. Dustin Jacoby is a very high-level kickboxer. At one point in time, he was ranked number 2 in Risen when he was a professional kickboxer. Came back to the UFC, had a phenomenal win streak. It was like 7-8 fights in a row, doing really, really well, outpointing people, knocked a few people out. Dustin Jacoby was looking good for a while. A couple of stumbles here and there. Most recently, he's coming off a very close loss to Alonzo Menafield, where he did get dropped. But outside of getting dropped, he won a lot of those striking exchanges. But if we go back to Dominick Reyes, I mentioned former title challenger. The guy is very tall for the weight class, mostly torso. It's a pretty odd build, actually. His legs are like this. His torso is like this. Very long for that division. I think what ended up happening, and this is sincere, I think he basically beat John Jones. In the room at the moment, I thought John Jones won, but I'm old school with this stuff. I am in the you got to beat the champ to beat the champ sort of camp of scoring title fights. But fine, disagree, no big deal. I think he thought he beat John Jones. The public thought he beat John Jones. The entire MMA community thought he beat John Jones. And Dominick Reyes all of a sudden was like that guy. He was that guy, the hyped guy. Then he comes back, a title fight. It was on Fight Island. He was playing basketball with his brothers, not a care in the world. Didn't seem to take it serious. Got absolutely slept. And I think that literally ruined his chin. I think that destroyed his chin. Came back too fast. Couple too quick turnarounds. 3 bad knockout losses in a row. And I think Dominick Reyes is done. I think Dustin Jacoby wins this fight. While he is a very high-level technical kickboxer, he's not the most powerful guy. He's got a couple of knockouts here and there, but he's not like Jiri. He's not Jan. He's not that power that's been putting Dominick Reyes out. But I still think Dustin Jacoby gets it done. I think he beats Dominick Reyes. I just think that many years without success, that many knockout losses in a row, I just think the sport passed them by. I think Dominick Reyes is done. I think he got a blessing by not fighting Carlos Ulberg, but I think it'll be more the same here. Dustin Jacoby's the pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I feel for the kid, right? I mean, he was right there. Most people think that he beat the GOAT, John Jones. And even John Jones, if you listen to him talk about the fight, he's like, in the fight, he told himself, like, well, this is it, John. Like, you met your match. You lost to this young kid, athletic kid, and this is it. And he had to really kind of convince himself inside the fight to really kind of turn the corner in those championship rounds. And to his credit, he did. I mean, he definitely probably did win the 4th and the 5th. And, but he was dropped a little bit early. But, I feel for this kid, man. He could have been the champion. If he was the champion, who knows? He still could be the champion, right? He would have got the rematch. We'll see. He would have got big paydays, and I think I'm going to be rooting for him, right? To come back at a co-main event in front of a live crowd, to be able to overcome and get this victory again after 4 knockout losses or 3 knockout losses in a row. That would be incredible. I think I'm going to be rooting for him. And against a guy like Dustin Jacoby, there's going to be opportunities, right? Because he's an athlete. He can land shots, and Dustin isn't the most dangerous guy in the world. And you saw Dustin getting dropped as well, right, against Alonzo. I think he won that fight, right? I mean, he was just kind of tooling up Alonzo until those drops. I think those drops didn't really win him the rounds. It's controversial, but goes down as a loss. Listen, it's probably going to be that Dustin Jacoby jab that's eventually going to add up. Right? Just because you don't have knockout power doesn't mean you can't knock out people in other ways. And I'm not saying Dustin Jacoby doesn't have knockout power. He obviously does. But compared to a lot of the people at 205, he probably doesn't. But That jab, man, and that jab will wear you down. And it'll, for somebody that's already got a suspect chin, once you start eating 6, 7, 8 solid jabs, I mean, you're only a slight right hand away from dropping after that point. And I think that jab is eventually just going to wear down Dominick Reyes. I'm going to be rooting for him, man. I hope he comes through and pulls through. He's definitely an athletic guy, and Dustin Jacoby's not the most dangerous guy in the world, but I think that danger, or the lack of danger, honestly, could get Dominick Reyes in even more trouble because he's not going to respect him as much. He's going to have his own success. Yeah, he gets a little bit too comfortable. Next thing you know, he's bleeding, he's busted, and then that one shot comes that drops him again. So I got to go Dustin Jacoby here. I'll be rooting for Dominick, man.
There you go. We got some people talking about, Dominick Reyes, that Jiri fight was amazing. That Jiri fight, he blasted Jiri. He was touching him up.
He had him hurt.
He did have him. Everybody has Jiri hurt. Everybody has Jiri hurt.
Well, he had him hurt on the feet, and then he literally knocked him out with an up kick.
Yeah, and then what happened? And that also was 3 years ago. So literally 3 years ago. That was May 1st, 2021. That was 3 years ago. If you have to go back to a knockout loss in the second round 3 years ago to make your argument as to why he's going to win, you're reaching. You're reaching. I don't think Dominick Reyes gets it done. $7,200 in DraftKings. I'm not going to touch it. I'm also not going to touch the $9,000 for Dustin Jacoby because I don't think he wins by knockout, which means he's going to need to land a shit ton of significant strikes to really be worth that money. And I've already got the high price fighters that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to fade this fight in DraftKings. But if you do want to check out the DraftKings optimizer, the ownership projections, all the other detailed data, metrics, the bets, and everything else, you can do that now. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. It's only $10 for an entire month. And shout out to the community. As we've been filming this, I saw 16 different people sign up for premium membership. I get all those emails. So those are nice to see come in. Thank you guys very much.
Dutch might be sticking around then, having that much success.
Oh, no, these are cancellations. They said ditch the weird cowboy.
Ditch Dutch. Hashtag
Dutch.
ditch Dutch.
Dutch should be ditched.
I'll tell you what, Angelo,
no.
real quick. Are we done with this breakdown?
Sure. Okay, you got something to say? Are we just moving on to the main event? We crossed. There we go. 5 million views.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I try so hard. I can't rise above it. Don't know what it is about that little gas loving, but I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. 5 million views, man.
That's an astonishing number. That's 5 million public views. We have another couple 100,000 of videos that we no longer, for whatever reason, are there. So thank you all very, very much. It is genuinely appreciated.
But seriously, 25,000 subscribers, 5 million views.
It's crazy, astonishing. Man. Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. And we started after COVID, so we didn't get the fake COVID boost, the artificial boost. So I appreciate everybody, honestly, for making this happen.
Well, I don't think you appreciate everyone, but I definitely do.